the Dérive is a technique where you move quickly through varied locations and scenery. Dérives involve playful or entertaining behavior and the watching of how people act based on their surroundings. This is psychogeography. It is different from going on a predestined stroll because you are taking a random path while observing the people, interactions, and buildings in your surroundings. You are most likely to venture into areas that you normally wouldn't visit. Translated, Dérive means to drift, and in our case, we did an urban drift. Guide to Board is the man behind defining Dérive and explaining the techniques used. He also explains what one may find when going on a Dérive and what this can say about our society. For example, you can create mapping through your own opinions or through generalizations of different sections in the city, such as dingy, unattractive areas.
Following picture is a map of our travels. The path we took is highlighted in yellow. As you can see, we spent most of our time on Ocean Drive and the streets nearby. Also, because of our travel rule, our path ended up taking us in a circle. While walking through South Beach, our group's guidelines were that once we saw a blue building, we needed to turn right. Or, if that was not an option in that immediate area, we would turn right at the next street corner. Because South Beach is a very colorful area, there is an abundance of blue painted buildings. These guidelines led us to streets that we would have never imagined exploring. Besides Rico, because he lives in Miami, the rest of us expected South Beach to be an area comprised of glamour, perfection, and beauty. Each of us are from the Northeast, so we viewed the city as a lively vacation spot. In addition, we expected to see fancy hotels, crystal clear beaches, exclusive restaurants, and flashy cars. The media portrays South Beach as a tropical, young, high-class, and exciting scene. Little did we know, most of South Beach is far from that.
We started out on Ocean Drive, which was similar to what we imagined. There were high-end restaurants, expensive cars, and streets full of action. Also, in this area, there were a lot of palm trees, plants, and appealing buildings. In addition, the beach is a close walk across the street. Who doesn't want to dine while feeling the ocean breeze? The hotels feature Art Deco designs, adding a unique flair to the city streets. Also, each hotel is in close proximity to each other, providing a lot of interactions between vacationers or restaurant diners. It is also common for there to be bumper-to-bumper traffic, since this street is a popular tourist spot and dining area. While walking past all of the restaurants, each of the hostesses offered us alcoholic beverages because it was happy hour. This suggests that the lifestyle is all about having a good time with friends. A lot of the diners at each restaurant looked very relaxed and happy with their meals and drinks. They all exuded positive energy. There are many expensive and exclusive hotels on Ocean Drive, each attracting an upper-class crowd.
Lastly, there are many eccentric yet expensive cars. Each of them create a scene and cause pedestrians to turn heads and snap a quick picture. These cars added to the uniqueness and fun energy of the city. At last, we reach a blue building and we turn right. After making a turn, we were led to a dingy side street. Being this was our first experience in a bad area, we were surprised, fascinated, and disturbed. While walking down the street, we saw a broken window and a no trespassing zone with a random red go-kart. This car is definitely not like the ones we saw on Ocean Drive. We each felt a little uncomfortable and nervous since we were not in the safest looking area. Luckily, nobody dangerous put us in harm's way.
At the end of the road, we were loudly greeted by a crazy homeless man. He calls himself the king of South Beach, but most others call him the South Beach Bum. He had yellow teeth, a long white beard, and rocked a University of Miami t-shirt. We asked him if we could take a picture of him. In return, he demanded a fee of $1. Being such good people, we gave him an extra 25 cents and were rewarded with a big grin and a flashing of the U. Although he is clearly very different from us, we felt a strange connection to him since he was wearing a UM shirt. After walking away, his next prospect was a girl in a bikini. Unfortunately, he harassed her and chased her down the block. This guy has no boundaries.
Motherfucker thirsty.
We turned into an alleyway that looked somewhat nice at first, since there was a cobblestone walkway with lamps on the sides. Yet at the end, it turned out being dingy again because there were homeless cats behind a fence. Not only are there homeless people, but also animals. Another blue building was at the end of this alleyway. The building looked like a low-quality motel with a shirtless man watching over the balcony. On this next street, it seemed kind of abandoned and quiet. For example, this blue building was vacant and for sale by the government. It would definitely need repairs such as a paint job and gardening. Also, the street was very empty, lacking the traffic that existed on Ocean Drive. Also, other forms of transportation including skateboarding and taxis. Taking taxis is more likely to occur on Collins since you are trying to quickly pass through the street. Overall, it had a quiet and boring mood. There was also a distinct difference between Ocean Drive and Collins. Ocean was more of a resort area, and Collins seemed more for business. The business was more commercial, such as retail stores, rather than the restaurants.
I'm in Miami Beach, drink all day.
The next street seemed nicer. There were people walking back from the beach and towards a parking garage. 7th and Collins was definitely more upscale, featuring expensive boutique stores and a more refined crowd. We felt more comfortable here compared to being in the alleyways. Also, we blended in with the rest of the tourists. It made sense that there were tourists on the street considering there was a hotel towards the end of it. The stores shown probably make most of their money from shoppers. Also, the hotel probably attracts tourists because the beach is right next to it. In addition, we felt that this building looked kind of random because of its tall height. Walking more, we saw the Art Deco styles that Miami proudly boasts. They represent the city's history and uniqueness. There were also some cool cars that matched the classy atmosphere. It was entertaining and interesting to walk through this area.
Hey, play all night, let's get it poppin'.
On the corner of the next street was a small restaurant and hotel that also had the Art Deco architecture. The palm trees and lively crowd reminded you that you were back on Ocean Drive. Clearly, the Art Deco architecture is everywhere because this building is a police station. Usually you would expect a police station to be grim and depressing, yet this one was colorful and appealing. This makes getting arrested seem classy and fun. Across the street was a shopping and eating area that also features a club. The layout kind of reminded us of Coconut Grove. People were promoting the restaurants outside, trying to attract new customers.
Continuing on Ocean Drive was a crowded and lively bar. Rico and especially Bernie were extremely attracted to the loud atmosphere. Little did they know, it was a gay bar. I noticed the gay pride flag right away, yet Bernie was blinded by the loud music and exciting crowd. Can you spot Bernie? Just kidding. It seemed as though some of the partygoers were a little tired and decided to take a nap on the lawn across the street. Wake up, Bernie! Once again, just kidding. Clearly, anything goes when you're in South Beach.
You expect to see glamour, wealth, and high-class people. Clearly, our assumptions were proven completely wrong. There were a lot of bad or boring areas and grimy people. Without going on a Dérive, it is likely that we wouldn't have walked into these bad areas and seen all sides of South Beach. South Beach is an interesting and unique city full of diverse areas and people. By using the Dérive method, we were exposed to various locations that we would never have experienced otherwise.
We love you, Casey.
Hey, play all night, let's get it poppin'. I'm in Miami